This video was brought to you by Elbilmek, ABRP, Stormberg, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? Today we're going to do a little unusual range test because behind me here you see this MG Cyberster and it's a roadster, so you can take off the roof. So I want to know, when we drive now with the roof closed like we should do in winter versus when we have the roof open, how is the efficiency? Is it that much worse? And then what about the comfort? Can you actually do it in winter? It's minus 8 degrees Celsius outside. So, based on the theory, you see that the roof actually creates a nice aerodynamic shape. So it should be the most efficient way it is. But how much do we spoil the consumption by opening the roof? And will I die during the test? Well, we'll find out. So, you see we have buttons here. Well, actually that's a sensor, but it did actually hit one of the Ioniq columns there when they open. Not sure how useful that sensor is. Hey, okay, you see it senses now. Yeah, okay. Well, can you open it anyway? No. Okay, I had to go that far away. All right, and then here, this is a quite small car. You know, it's smaller than Model 3 in comparison. All right, so also the navigation is here, you know, like it is so clumsy. It would be better if the navigation would be available here, maybe. Well, this main screen is taking up a lot of space. But okay, so I have to explain here. Normally, what I would do is to drive. Oh, let me see. This is so clumsy, man. Okay, we had Ioniq down, right? Normally, I would drive the north loop here, but they have closed the tunnel. Even though it's a Saturday night, actually, normally they don't have any roadworks on weekends. So this would be some exceptional stuff. And I would do a long loop, right? A 66-kilometer loop all the way to Strandlyst and back again. This time I will take a short loop because I'm a chicken. No, so I would drive. Wait, where are we? Okay, we're not exactly there, are we? The map shows a bit weird. No, we're not on that side of the road. We are on. As you zoom in, then it gets correct. Okay. Oh, whatever. We're gonna drive just a short loop to Høyeset and back again. That's only a 16-kilometer loop, but I think that's good enough. So let's do all the preparation and then off we go. And then which mode should we use? We have some flappy pedals and we're like, can you change gear in it? Or is it for region? Well, no, not exactly. This is for changing mode between custom, comfort and sport. So I will of course have it in comfort mode. And then this side here, I don't know if you can see the letter. It's curse. I'm not sure if many people understand what it means. It's kinetic energy recovery system, or region in other words. So it's a toggle here to toggle the region. 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Interesting toggle. Okay, it goes up and down like that. Okay, so I'll just have it in region 3. Wait. Yeah, okay. So I thought like, hey, does it have like fake gear shift like the Ioniq 5N? No, it doesn't have like that. No. All right, we're on the move, and I have to cruise at 92 kilometers per hour to match 90 GPS speed. And then I don't know what's up with this, but I just happened to get semi-stuck behind this dude. Okay, he speeded up finally. Didn't want to get any aerodynamic advantage, but this is also what I noticed. When you go downhill, it does this uneven. Okay, now it goes. Like it just has these short bursts where the region goes up and down, up and down. It is annoying. It creates a non-smooth ride. But at least for now, everything is normal, right? Okay, where is the outside temperature? Is it here? No. Is it here? No. Is it here? No. It is here. Minus 8 degrees Celsius. Okay, that's proper cold. All right, so now we just cruise, not this exit, but the next exit. All right, this is far enough. Turn right here and go back to Dal. All right, first test result before any distance correction, which is 1.3% underreporting. 200 watt-hour per kilometer. I think that's okay, right? Well, this time we cruise 122 to match 120. And then we go downhill again, and then let's see. Okay, now this time it seems like the speed actually matches the downhill. So it's still, it's -7 degrees Celsius. Okay, slight variation in the temperature. But yeah, I have 21 degrees Celsius set in the cabin, so as of now it is nice and comfy in here. I should enjoy it as long as it lasts. All right, the high-speed test, 257 watt-hour per kilometer. All right, and now we need to test without the heater on, but still with the roof closed. So off with the heater and off we go. We just turned around now. We've been driving for 7 minutes, and I feel like the car can retain the heat in here fairly well, but the windows start fogging a bit. Yeah, but I mean, it is livable or bearable for now, at least. Oh look, downhill. Okay, also got a hammond with the region. Oh, this time 180 watt-hour per kilometer, and I forgot to show you this. Yeah, so it shows that wait, is this screen brighter? The heck, man? Yeah, 100% on the power, and then no air conditioner, nothing else. Yeah. Okay, I heated up the cabin a bit to get rid of the fog, and then I went for another run. And now in the 120 test, I feel less cold, or I mean, at least I'm exposed for the cold for a shorter period since we drive faster. So, you know, in a case where your heater will be broken in your EV, should you just hammer it or should you slow poke? Because when you hammer it like now, you also get more wind chill against the car. I might hammer it and then I just get stuck anywhere and die. This is strange. This time we consume 257 watt-hour per kilometer, which is the same as the one with the heater on. But I see here that others is going up. Well, it's maybe because intelligent power battery heating thing is on, and the battery is so cold now, so maybe the car is trying to heat up the battery. Man, I need to redo the test then. Oh, it goes up now. What? Shit. Well, you might as well heat up the battery by charging it now at Ioniq. So I'll prepare for the cold run anyway. So here we have a very nice and warm storm bag jacket. And I also have insulated storm bag pants. Yeah, okay, let me change in here. Well, should I do it in the Circle K? No, let's do it here. All right, we try again now. Yeah, and this time I turn off the battery heater so it won't interfere with it. We just want to check here also that it's supposed to be this trip. No wait, that's weird. It didn't reset. Okay, whatever. Okay, finally 249 watt-hour per kilometer, and then well, this seems to be. But no, shit, it's too bright. This seems to be bugged. Also, this charge. I mean, we did charge. Also seems to be bugged. Air conditioning. Oh no, I think yeah, when I heated up when I was charging. Okay. Whatever, always buggy software. Okay, so here's my outfit. At the bottom we have some nice warm storm bag shoes, and then we have insulated storm bag pants, and then a regular storm bag jacket inside, fleece, and also t-shirt inside there again. And then we have the down jacket also from storm bag with this hat in case I need it. And then storm bag wool gloves and storm bag wool beanie. So will I be able to survive? Let's find out. Let's go. Well, it seems like the most basic operation of the car can be done with gloves, but these are not the touchscreen friendly gloves. So when it comes to touchscreen operation, you forget about with these gloves. But there are some thinner gloves that are not made of wool. That wait, I think there are some wool gloves that also work with touchscreen, but not these. These are just really warm, 2-layer with some fleece inside, but also wool outside. So actually right now, I'm not freezing that much. Okay, we have this shield back here that helps, and also of course the window here helps. So yeah, it's actually not that bad, at least now at 90 kilometers per hour. I'm not sure how it's gonna be in 10 minutes. And also, what about the 120 test? Ooh. Other people are probably wondering, what the heck is that guy doing? Well, in the name of science, you want to explore how the aerodynamics is. Oh! Yeah, but wow, I'm really impressed of these clothes, how well they insulate, even at high speed. Okay, this time we consume 199 watt-hour per kilometer. Wow, that was not efficient at all. But yeah, just to verify, oh man, brightness, yeah. We used everything on propulsion and nothing on anything else. But just to be clear, I have heating off, and also the rear heating has been turned off. So yeah, we just want to see how it is. And you know, it would be a big waste of energy just to have any heater on right now, right? All right, now we do the 120 test. Heater off, seat heater off, everything off, no steering wheel heater, nothing. Well, I'm still surprised that we have okay comfort here. So, seems like they have designed the car so that you get this quiet zone here with all the blockage. Yeah, I was expecting the worst, but it's going like piece of cake. Well, actually, the trip is not over yet, so we still have to turn around and then see. Well, I'm starting to feel some cold in the feet, so maybe I should get warmer leg wear, or at least have some kind of fleece on the inside, or actually wool. Yeah, super undertøy on the leg, that would be perfect. Wait, let me see. Oh, this kind of helps, but it seems like it is just tall enough that it catches the wind from above. What the heck? Wait, what happens if you're too tall? I'm 173 centimeters. Be like, what the heck, man? Okay, I have to go like this. You have to be lowrider. Then it's fine. Oh yeah, this is comfy. All right, 277 watt-hour per kilometer. Okay, that was not very efficient, but still okay. Yeah, just double checking here. Okay, now I'm topping up a little bit at Ioniq, and I want to heat up also. But yeah, it's still cold gating. But okay, I just want to make sure that we don't get the too cold battery. So at least for now, I have re-enabled the battery heating. I'm not sure if it matters when you're fast charging, but yeah. Okay, one last set of tests. This time I have the heater at 25 degrees Celsius, and also here the auto set to high, and then battery heater is off. And I just want to know, how thirsty does this car become then in the worst possible way? It's pulling, I don't know, 3 kilowatt for heating right now. And to make the challenge more interesting, I took off the nice and warm jacket. I'm now just wearing the all-purpose thin jacket. But I also turned on the seat heater and the steering wheel heater, and I'm not wearing the beanie, nothing. So, will I survive this time? Wow, I mean, the car is just blasting in heat here, at least. Oh, let's see. In the name of science. All right, this time 265 watt-hour per kilometer. And then here's the distribution: 77% on propulsion, and then 22.7% on AC. Okay, last test, high-speed test with heater on, everything on. We're gonna burn a lot of electricity here. Can we hit 300 watt-hour per kilometer? Well, we'll see. Fortunately, this run will be shorter than the previous run, so I don't have to suffer that much. Oh, okay, still minus 7 degrees Celsius over here. Well, let me see. What if I do this? Oh, shit! Satan, det var kaldt! Wait, is the car capping the display at 298 watt-hour per kilometer? It hasn't moved for the longest time now. What? Okay, it lies now. It claims 298 watt-hour per kilometer, so that is incorrect. Let's try to figure out how much it is. Oh, look at this. From when I press this until it changes. Wait. It's like almost a second lag. Wow. I mean, huh? There's no fancy calculation or graphics or anything. Why is the user interface so slow? What if I press my thumb? Okay, whatever. But I think the trick is that we can use a different trip meter to figure out how much this one is. Or back home. So on the trip back here, I drove slower, and that meant lower consumption. And then based on the low trip consumption on the way back here versus the total trip, I can figure out that we had 343 watt-hour per kilometer, but that was with some idling when I was just sitting there. So let's say at least 330 watt-hour per kilometer. So you see, again, a Chinese car that caps the consumption at 298. Yeah, actually, when I reset the trip meter and I started driving, once you accelerate on the motorway, you see that it just goes a bit up and then stops at 298 watt-hour per kilometer and then stays flat for maybe 5 minutes until it starts dropping. So yeah, that's just how it is with Chinese cars. But what should I say about the whole roof open test? Well, it was a chill experience now during winter, but I survived. And the consumption went up quite a lot, so I would expect the same thing to happen at least during summer also. Yeah, so yeah, at least we tried it, right? And then when it comes to the general consumption with the roof closed, 200 watt-hour per kilometer, I think that's roughly on par with what you should expect from most normal performance cars, right? But a Model 3 is still more efficient, yeah. I think maybe some of the Korean cars also. But okay, anyway, I think that's gonna be for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching and talk to you later.